Got our ice fishing gear. We are ready to go fishing. Hey, I'm Adam Eagle. Thanks for tuning in. Came up to Pineview today because my buddy Sorno gave me a call, said the fishing at Pineview is actually turning on. He said, grab your ice fishing gear if you want some slab crappie. Don't have to twist my arm that hard to get me to get one of the, one of the best tasting fish here in all of Utah. Let's get on the water. Fish on the fish finder, and you're telling us to go somewhere else.
Yeah, you never fish by the boat ramp. It's a rule.
You were out here a few days ago with Jim?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it was fun. We got into the fish. They wanted to play as bad as we did, so we obliged them. And, pretty easy fishing. Hope we can duplicate it. It's just a pattern that's worked several years in a row. So people are hunting now. The fishermen have this place to themselves for the most part.
Hey, let's go see if this pattern holds up.
Okay.
The water level at Pineview is up from the past few years, and the population of panfish from crappie, perch, and even bluegill should be pretty good. Our target today is 10 to 12 inch crappie.
We'll start to see schools that top out at about 28. They'll be 28 to 35. They'll be concentrated like that. And they're just kind of roving around in here. You can just kind of put us on a half and run us right towards that bush down that point.
We're fishing the middle arm in about 40 feet of water, just slowly cruising, looking for schools of crappie.
There's fish. Leave it to Sorno, hook up first.
Yeah, not paying any attention. My line's slack, laying on top of the water.
Crappie. There's not a lot of places in Utah you can come catch hand-sized crappie on.
Not consistently.
Yeah.
You can get fish like that in various places, but you won't get 40, 50, 60 a day.
Tungsten jig head with a pink body.
You're just using ice fishing gear.
Yeah.
Tungsten jig and the what?
This is a Mackie Scuddy.
Okay.
And it
Got a little flavor to it?
Yeah, I suppose. I can't taste it. I don't eat them. And I think there's a certain amount of attractiveness in just its movement, because you really can't hold these things perfectly still. So they're always quivering a little bit.
There it is. 3 times the charm. Nice fish. And they taste great.
Tell me about that. For someone who's never had them, Jim, what do these taste like?
It's a white meat. We usually fry them up with some panko and a little bit of egg. Otherwise, we'll just pan fry them in butter. Either way.
Some people say they're better than walleye.
My wife prefers them over walleye. I prefer the walleye myself, but I think perch wins all around, but these are a great second.
Slab crappie. Well, that's a good one.
Yep. Yeah, he did a little more than nibbling, bud.
Boy, he just swallowed it, didn't he? I don't know. That's not as big as the one Jim caught.
You could come up here most any day and expect to catch some crappies. It's just changing the tactics throughout the year. In the spring, obviously, they got spawning on the brain. They're going to be in shallow, real easy to catch. As they move offshore, they get a little more technical in what you need to do. You're fishing 40 to 50 feet away from your actual prey, so you got to put that into the equation. And then through the ice, it's back to being easy again. It's a full 4-season fishery up here, and it's really good most of the time.
Jim's got the technique down.
Yeah, I've been watching Sorno for a while.
There's a nicer one.
Yeah, that's a good fish. That's 11 or 12.
Yeah, he'll be real close to 11.
There he is.
Ain't no champ.
Oh.
Gonna need the tool.
You know, some of these fish just aren't the size we want to keep, so we're releasing them. We're catching them in 30 to 40 feet, and some are showing signs of barotrauma, such as bulging eyes, a bloated belly, or extended intestines. To release them correctly, you'll need a tool called a fish descender.
Gas contracts under a lot of pressure. For every 10 feet you go down, it's another atmosphere of pressure. So if you're bringing something up from 30 feet even, it's 3 atmospheres of pressure. And so that gas in their gas bladder will expand to 2 to 3 times the size, and sometimes you'll see their stomach even coming out of their mouth. Yeah. So with this device, I can hook them there and run it back down to the depth at which they were already, used to being at.
Release them.
And release them. and they'll stay down there. At least they have a chance. You know, the muskies might get them, the crayfish might get them, but the gulls aren't going to get them because they're not going to be laying on the top. So how this works, see, he's on his side, he's already a little bit compromised. You just poke that through their thin skin behind their lower jaw. That weight will pull them down. It'll overcome the expansive gas in their gas bladder, and I'll just let it down 35, 40 feet, close to the bottom, and just pull on that, and he's safely down in 35 feet of water instead of on the surface. Here comes a fish.
Oh yeah. He's on somebody, isn't he? He is. He's on Jim, I think. God. Called that. Yeah, that's a real good one.
Yeah. He'll make the knife even dirtier.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's as good as we've caught today. That's fun watching it on the screen. Someone's gonna get bit. He's on Jim. Boom. There he is. Oh, that's a better fish. That feels better.
These fish that we are getting and keeping anyway are running 10.5 to 12. Today they were, 10 to 11.5. It's just a second.
Just a second, let me get this.
But they're, the difference between a 10 and 11 meat-wise is pretty small.
And we're getting some small ones, which is good to see because we know that there's a crop out there, up-and-comers.
Sure, we know they're spawning successfully, they're recruiting to the population, and those little ones typically are harder to catch. You don't catch as many of them, so just by virtue of us getting a few, it's a good sign.
Another one for the box. That might be 30. Real close.
Yeah, we're in that conversation anyway.
Yeah. So when we go to Alaska, we catch, some of the rockfish, yellow eye and that, and you can't keep them, and that's the same thing, right?
That's where the idea comes from.
Yeah.
It's a freshwater application of a saltwater tool.
You just made this, right?
Yeah.
Works fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Looks like you have it on your ice fishing gear. You probably use it for perch quite a bit.
Yeah, mostly. I got it for ice fishing, and then I thought, well, I was out here Wednesday and caught crappies at 41 feet, and I thought they weren't going back down. I thought, well, if I don't want to keep them and we get those little guys, no sense in killing them outright.
Sure.
You got to give them a chance.
Yep. That's a good little technique, something you can make at home, or you can even buy them online.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, unless they're cheap like us.
Yeah. Or former state workers.
Or former state workers.
It wouldn't go down anymore. I like this one.
Keeper?
Yeah.
Kind of describe the area we're in. We're just kind of it's just a flat bottom, out in 40 feet of water.
Yeah, it's just a flat. And it's a place I've been before and done well before, but the water at that time was 20 feet deep instead of 40. So I don't know if they like this particular bottom. It seems to be a little more mud. It's in Middle Fork. Maybe it's that it's close enough to the old floodplain from the old river channel that it's got some mud on it. And
there he is. He's all over in the live well now.
More aquatic invertebrates, but
they're definitely spitting up a bunch of aquatic.
A lot of Daphnia.
Yeah.
It's anybody's guess really why they're
here.
Yeah.
So we're using our Panoptics. The bite kind of slowed, but the Panoptics is telling us they're a little bit shallower and we're seeing some good schools. Oh, eat it.
Might be my first.
Jeez. I should have had that fish. Probably pulled my pants down. There he is. Third time's a charm. Oh, it's perch. Wrong species. Wonder if that's what we're seeing.
It could be young at a year perch,
Yeah.
so maybe we need to go back out.
Our guess is what we are seeing on the Panoptics live scope is young perch. The crappie are out in 40 feet of water.
Oh, there's
Fish up high.
Kent, or Sorno, as his friends call him, just retired after 32 years of working as a biologist for the DWR.
There he is. Saw him. What do you feel as your highlighted career's been? Something you're like, oh man, that was something I was a part of and that was kind of cool.
I think the Tiger Muskie program was one of the highlights. I got in on the ground floor of that. Some of the early Willard Bay stuff was fun. Obviously the habitat placement in the flat waters particularly. I did a lot of riverine stuff, but it didn't seem like it was as fun.
Yeah.
And it always, because rivers are dynamic and they move and they will ruin all your stuff eventually. But the stuff I put in flat waters, I think will stand the test of time. It'll certainly outlive me.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, that's what we're after.
Yeah, that's a big fish.
The limit on crappie at Pineview is 20 per angler. Today, we caught about 30 between the three of us.
Just looking at mine.
Jim got it again.
Jim was the hot hand and probably caught half of those.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Crappie fishing should still be good. Just pick a nice day and get up here.
Well, it's a good thing you brought Jim. He's not only catching fish today, not only to catch a lot of fish today, he's a good hand helping cleaning the boat.
Oh yeah, he's
Hey,
good
you
to have.
missed the spot.
He's great to have around.
It's a good boat.
Good friend to have.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
Hey, this is good. You think it'll be good through November?
probably.
Yeah, and in the winter, obviously, it's going to pick up.
It has traditionally been good right up till ice up.
Yeah,
You know, as long as you can put a boat in the water.
yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, congratulations on retirement.
Thanks.
Get to see more ice fishing, I know now.
I get to see more fishing of all kinds.
That's awesome. Hey, if you have a minute, maybe a weekend, maybe a day off during the week, get up here to Pineview. Come slay some crappie, some good eats. That's for sure.
They could use some thinning.
They could use a little thinning. Yeah, there's definitely a ton here. Get up and do like Sorno, the retired guy. Every day's a Saturday. Come up and enjoy the great outdoors. I'm Adam Eagle, KSL Outdoors. We'll see you next weekend. Good night.